Parker. I head up the teams at ContentPlus. What I want to talk to you about today is three things. The first thing is content marketing, a buzzword particularly for 2012. Make sure that everyone's on the same page with what it is and how it works. Secondly is to look at how important content marketing is for small businesses, medium-sized businesses, all the way up to large blue-chip organisations. And then thirdly, to really look at how content marketing is driving a commercial return for our clients and for websites as a whole. Okay, so just a hazard warning, if you like. We're going to use Prezi today. So anyone who has used Prezi or has seen a Prezi presentation, it's quite animated, quite dynamic. So if you've got people next to you getting a bit dizzy, give me a shout and I'll slow the animations down. Okay, so firstly, to have a look at content marketing, the first thing that we need to do is actually look at marketing itself. So just take one step back just for a second. So if you have a look at this image here, effectively for years and years now, marketing is about, or has been, about interrupting messages. So whether it is banner adverts, whether it's billboards, whether it's TV adverts that are interrupting your favourite TV programme every 8 minutes, we've traditionally looked at interruptive marketing to actually engage with our audiences. Now, the problem with that is that because we have over 300 different TV channels that you consume content through, millions and millions of websites that you can browse, and hundreds of different devices that you can actually view this content on, we've almost become superhuman and we're impervious to the ways in which marketing used to work years and years ago. So just like these clever chaps around the table here, interruptive marketing, where we're looking at banner ads that flash up in the middle of your homepage, tiny little opt-out buttons that are in some size 3 font, that really is something of the past. Hopefully, content marketing, which really is the elephant in the room, is something that you're thinking about and your colleagues are also thinking about as well. So, what are we finding? Well, obviously, increasingly, people really, they distrust advertising. That we're all finding it increasingly competitive and difficult to build awareness of your brand and actually build loyalty within your brand. So what do we do about it? Well, actually, Bob Gilbreth actually sums it up really well. He published his first book this year. Really, in terms of marketing, you have to produce marketing that has a meaning, that has a purpose. And the most important purpose is your target audience, is your target market, making sure that you've got them top of mind. So that's marketing as a whole. Now, to make it more relevant, how does that actually impact content marketing? Well, actually, some of you here may not have even heard of the term content marketing at all. Up until 2009, it didn't really exist as a term or a buzzword. So it's Joe Paluzzi who coined the phrase 3 years ago. What is it? Any thoughts? Anyone? Some sort of interaction? Not today? Okay. Alright, so what is content marketing? Well, there's lots and lots of definitions of content marketing. This one is the best in my view. So it's really creating, sourcing original, unique, valuable content that you then want to publish and distribute to attract, engage and convert your target audiences. That essentially is what we're looking to do, that's what we all need to do, and that's what content marketing is all about. Okay, so why bother? How does this all fit in? Well, what I thought we could try and do is practice what we preach a bit. So I want to try and make this 20 minutes as memorable as possible in this kind of setting. So just using one of the pieces of content that we use to market ourselves, we're going to compare content marketing to the anatomy, which is quite a simple comparison. So first and foremost, you need high quality content. Gone are the days where you can just produce text, put it onto your website, and actually start ranking for key search terms, get people engaged. It's not going to happen. You need quality content at the heart of any integrated marketing approach. I'm not going to say those words because they've been bandied around for 16 years, but we all know Bill Gates said that in 1996, and now more than ever this year, that it really is where the market's gone. It really is, content really is king. So what are we finding? This year alone in the UK, 3 out of 5 marketers actually spent more on content marketing. What else are we finding? 9 out of 10 business-to-business marketers are using content marketing of some sort. I'm sure there's many of you here today who are producing blogs or doing some sort of copy. In effect, that is a form of content marketing. And then the US, just to give you a feel for how it is over the pond, on average 25% of all of their budget is actually spent on content, either creating it or curating that content. So what you all really want to know is, that's all great, but how are we going to ensure we're actually doing that for ourselves? And obviously there's all sorts of options that you can look at, but if you really think, just bear with me with this analogy, but if you think of content as the food for your target audience, here is the recipe to make sure that the food you're producing is perfect for your audiences. So there's 4 key things, and these are definitely worth remembering. Creativity. You need creative talent within your company. Simple as that. You need someone to come up with the ideas, the unique thoughts, to create compelling, interesting, funny, engaging content. Along with that, you need variety. So at the moment for our clients, the leadership content is one of the more popular forms of content. Generally, buzzwords like infographics, white papers, ebooks, podcasts, they're the kind of things that our clients are using well, but that's not really the only kind of content we're looking at. There's over 30 different types, and it could be video, it could be animations, news, blogs, podcasts, you name it. The key is to actually have the variety of content along with the know-how. So this is the third point. Make sure that the people that you have working with you, for you, they know what they're doing. So either editorially, if you're producing content, make sure they know how to write in that sector, for that industry, for that market. If it's design, visual content, make sure you've got a graphical designer who knows what they're doing. Again, in that sector, that industry, and that market. If you're producing infographics and getting original data, you need to do some research. Make sure you've got people who are comfortable interviewing and getting original comments, data in that sector, for that target audience, for that market. Okay, and then the fourth point is frequency. There's no good in doing this as a one-off. Content marketing doesn't work as a one-off exercise. You need frequency, you need regularity, so make sure that you're doing that. Okay, so really what we're trying to do with content marketing is we're trying to engage the brains of our target audiences. So like Michael Stelner said, the way really is the brain is really through the eyes to get to the brain. And to show you, hopefully with some video, I'm not sure whether it's going to work with the Wi-Fi here. I think that might be a no. No? Okay. So that was really just to show you just another type of content, so video content. And that is the more high-end your content, the more creative it is, the more viral it can go, and the better results really you can get. So finally, in terms of how to create content, so you've got your four ingredients within your recipe, and you've got to make sure, obviously, on top of that, you've got a plan, you've got a schedule for what kind of content you're going to place and when. So the content variety, when you're going to do it, and where you're going to place it, which websites, which social media platforms. So really to have a clear idea almost every quarter as to where and how you're going to place that content. Okay, perfect. So that's how. So coming on to the two main reasons really that you want to look at content marketing. So there's search marketing and then there's social marketing. So if we just take search marketing to begin with, this is one of the main reasons actually that Google itself is shifting the way that it ranks websites. But to quote Amit, fundamentally we're not just looking at content anymore, we're looking at the relationships that content has with your audience, the voice that your content has. So it's important to make sure that you're really resonating with your specific audiences. Okay, so he's not the only guy saying that. We've known for years that creating content is obviously a strong part of search, but now more than ever, it's a key ranking signal to make sure that you're actually picked up in search engines and ranked well. So just looking at SEO, we can really break it down into 3 sections. One, just the content structure. We can spend a long time on this. This is kind of information architecture, content structuring, but essentially what you need to take on board is that when you're creating a new website or redesigning a site, you need to make sure that the site is easy to navigate through, the content is easy to navigate through, and that you're following Amazon's 3-click rule, where you're trying to get your audience to your calls to action, your quote forms, your sign-up areas within 3 clicks of actually coming onto your website. There's a whole lot more to that with metadata and all sorts of stuff, but I think just as an overview, make sure that your site is easy to navigate and your content's well structured. So once we've actually got our website in place, then we look at 2 areas. Obviously, broadly speaking, we all know on-site factors. We can look at two elements here. So the Panda update, I think you all know about it. Obviously, last 18 months has had a serious impact on the way that actually a lot of our clients market and their rankings in search. What the Panda update was trying to do really is just to make sure that thin websites or poor quality websites aren't being ranked highly anymore. So if we just show you one of our client examples, which is a sales management company that we've been writing for a while now, we actually write some first-person blog content. So it's sort of leading voice blog content which resonates with their specific target market. So you'll see before the Panda updates, in terms of their organic traffic, and throughout the updates, the organic traffic has naturally increased over time. Their referred keywords has gone up 150% over that time as well, so the volume of traffic from different sources has increased. So really there's proof in the pudding that if you get your content strategy right, it can work fantastically well in search. Just quickly looking at blogs, in terms of blog content, what we've experienced is sometimes up to 400% increase in index pages by writing good quality blogs, and 97% increase in indexed links as well. So simple formula, basically more pages, more links, better size, better slice of the online marketing pie. So quickly then, off-site factors. A rather serious looking penguin. So off-site factors, really the Penguin update this year from April has been fundamental in changing the way that our clients previously have marketed themselves. So the Penguin update really, what is it there to do? It's there to make sure that the ratio of exact match links going from poor quality websites isn't rated or ranked. It's also there to make sure that the ratio of bad links coming from non-moderated blogs is also not ranked. There's all sorts of things, but effectively it's to stop people buying in links. So again, how can you make sure that you're not hit by this? How can you make sure that you succeed regardless of what Google throws at you? Well, it's very simple. Again, if you get the content right, if you create it correctly, if you curate it in the right way, you can always ensure, as long as it's valuable to your audience, that they will link to it, they'll share it, other websites will link to it as well. And that is how you build an organic, natural linking strategy. So, just to paraphrase Matt Cutts, who heads up the Google Web Spam team, I like his messaging here. Effectively what he's saying is, when you're building a website, aim to build not just an average site, and that's easier said than done, but a fantastic website, an authority within your specific niche. Yeah, so actually if you end up doing that, what you'll find is you'll drive very targeted specific traffic. So we're obviously one to try and practice what we preach. So we've been doing that this year. with our content marketing strategy and our content marketing approach. So obviously our audiences, they're generally marketers or business owners within small to medium-sized companies who are looking to really increase their revenue online, sometimes through the power of content, sometimes not. So we're actually focusing on one of our key phrases, small business content marketing. So we're ranking for the top 6 results on that. So it is as simple as that. If you've got good content, people will link to it and Google will rank it. Okay, so final area before we just go on to the sales. So social, minefield. So obviously lots of different social platforms that we're all looking at. Generally speaking, we look at Facebook, we look at Twitter obviously, YouTube, Pinterest. It really depends on the content type and also who we're looking to attract within those sites. However, the principles really they stay the same. We've got millions of bits of data and content being shared every day. So again, the key is make your content profound, make it interesting, make it different from your competitors. If you do that, you'll get likes, you will get follows, and if you can do that, what we see here is that 67% of Twitter followers, if they actually follow you, they're more likely to purchase. So, again, step-by-step process, returns and results. So finally, just to have a look at a client of ours, Cast UK, we're actually updating their discussion section. Again, just having direct dialogue with their clients, making sure they've got a voice, that they feel that they're being listened to, and interacting almost on a real-time basis with them. So, to summarise the social element, it's all about the strategy. It's all about the content strategy. If you get the strategy right, then 72% of marketers actually are going to say that it works, it does work. If you don't get it right, then half the time people won't follow you or they'll unfollow you. So if you don't produce original content, if you don't produce enough content, or if you just produce boring content, again, you're in the danger zone there of people then actually unsubscribing. So fundamentally, if you get this right, you'll build long-lasting relationships with your audiences, with your customers. So finally then, how does this all really work? This is all well and good. We're driving traffic from search, we're driving traffic from social, fantastic you say, but actually does it drive results, does it drive sales? So what I'm just going to show you here in the last diagram is quality content, how actually it should be and is a central part of every single touch point you have with your customer within a sales cycle. So the first thing we'll look at is actually the brand awareness. So before a client knows about you, how do you ensure that you increase the reach of your brand? Obviously we've covered it, organic search, social media, press releases, and obviously recommendations. So we're at stage 1, people are now aware of you, that's great. However, we've got to make sure that now we've got the first point of contact, that engagement is perfect, that engagement, we're maximising it. So typically you'll find you've got 10 to 15 seconds to engage your audience on the first visit. Make sure you're producing the right content to keep them there, whether it's blogs or news, it could be infographics, it could be anything really, but just make sure that you know what's actually going to keep them on your site. Now obviously they're not going to purchase first time. If it's a travel company, it may take 6 or 7 different websites for them to go on to actually then come back to yours. But the key is in that engagement phase, you've impressed them enough that they remember your brand and actually they come back to you throughout that sales cycle. So stage 3 here, the purchase, is making sure obviously the website is the central hub, that all the content there is sound, credible, that your deeper landing pages also make sense and your products around your landing pages are relevant and appropriate, and also that you're providing pertinent information to their questions, whether it be guides or FAQs. So the ultimate result is they see credibility in your brand and they're comfortable at this stage to now purchase. However, the job isn't done yet. The interrupted marketers of previous years, they would normally say, right, that's it, job done. However, we're content marketers, so what do we want to do? We want to make sure the client's happy, that they're still engaged post-purchase. So live chat, FAQs, social medias, social media, there's lots of things that you can be doing here, but the key is keep that dialogue going. Because if you can do that, and you can do it successfully, then you get to the gold dust area, which is brand loyalty. And this is what you all are looking for, this is what you all want, is to make sure your audiences are loyal to your brand, that they recognise you above anyone else. And if you can do this, then what you will find is your audiences, your target markets, they are actually marketing for you. They're reviewing for you about your products. They're commenting about your service, blogs. They're emailing their friends about the products that you're providing. So if we can get to this stage, this is the ultimate stage of content marketing, to make sure that you're a recognised brand, you've got brand advocates who are doing the marketing for you, and you've got repeat business off the back of that. So looking at the 5 stages, you'll see central really to every stage, the brand recognition, engaging with your audience, purchasing the product, post-purchase and brand loyalty. You need to be producing the right kind of content at the right time to get the best results. And if you can do that, then you have happy clients, you're happy yourselves, everyone's happy. So yeah, I mean, hopefully you've got, for the last 20 minutes, content marketing, why it's important, why you certainly should be looking at it this year, certainly next year, and how it can drive a tangible return for your business. Thank you very much.
Fergus, you just finished your talk on what is content marketing and why businesses should care. How do you think that went?
I think it went pretty well, if I do say so myself. No, I think it went well. We had good attendance. We had some very good questions at the end, and they looked genuinely enthused and interested, lots of note taking. So I think it just shows that there is a clear demand for content, which is always encouraging to see.
Is that sort of a key trend you've noticed over the last year or so?
Yeah, it is, definitely. Whether they're looking to outsource or do it in-house, that probably is another question altogether, but certainly the power of content and the demand for it has actually never been so high.
Why is content so important for small businesses at the moment?
Content really is fundamental to the way in which they're picked up in search engines, the way in which their audiences interact with them in social media. If they're not producing the right kind of content, they've got no voice, they've got no way of reaching out to their target market. So that's why it's absolutely essential to target who their customers are, make sure they're writing and producing the right kind of content for them, and therefore attract them onto their sites and converting them from there.
Fergus, in 20 words or less, what is content marketing?
That's a great question. So content marketing for me is sourcing and producing valuable content that engages, attracts your audience and converts them into customers.